Guys, what's up? Today I come to you with my review of Gintama, the manga, chapter 578. I know for I don't know for certain, but have you at one point said I'm done with Gintama with all the stuff that it has been going through? Not in a bad sense, but in a sense that it will throw you off course. You're getting so serious with a chapter, you're thinking, oh, something's going down, something is about to get really badass or something of that sort, and it just throws a curveball in your way, and then you just like you sit there and you just what the hell. And you should be used to it now, right? You watch Gintama, you thought you would have been used to it, but I mean, it's not Gintama if they don't implement some type of joke, some type of dirty joke into it concerning balls. Now, before I get into that part, we have where the chapter is starting off with Yutsuro and Umibozu. They're fighting, and Umibozu has lost an arm. And Yutsuro, what I like what he was saying, and something that was like kind of like a food for thought was, we are like organisms, and we come to a point where we will reach the highest of our pinnacle, the highest part of a system that we put ourselves in. But at the same time, even if we reach the highest point in life, it's very easy to fall and crash and die, okay? Even if you have all the money in the world, even if you have all the strength and the power, it's very easy for another to come in and take that away from you and leave you renderously useless. And Yutsuro explained that he has been around long enough to see this all happen, and he also like self claims that he has the authority of all of that. And because of that, he says, because I have seen it all already, I have the power, basically, to end all of it. So he was basically telling Umibozu that since he is considered the strongest man of the universe, you are at this point where you're considered the strongest, and I'm going to be the person to take you out of that position. And they continuously fight. Now we have the part where we get a flashback on Umibozu's side where he actually knows Mutsu, and he was actually really good friends with her father, who was at the time the head of the Chidori Space Pirates, and he was asked to watch over his daughter while I don't know what happened to the father. So we also have the part where he was talking about that the Yatos, they have two home planets. One was actually destroyed due to a war that was happening during that time, and that planet was called Kano, and it was going through a war, and it was going through so much changes, and different planets were attacking it. Eventually, that it destroyed it. Now we have where the Altana, which is that power source that they also find. I think it was that power source that they could also find on Earth. That huge power that can generate enough power to destroy any planets or possibly the universe at will. And that same power that Yutsu is looking for, it sprung up in their home planet. And over there, they found this creature, this beast that was called the Orochi. Now, in Japanese mythology, the Orochi is a eight-headed beast. In Gintama, it's a 108-headed beast, and it was roaming around the planet, the deserted planet that no more Yato was living on, and was devouring anything in its sight and destroying anything in its sight. And he was ordered, because he lost a bet, to go pick up chicks on that planet. Like anybody's gonna still be living on there. So, as I said, the Orochi in Japanese mythology, is an eight-headed beast that was defeated by Susanoo, who is the storm god. So, in this chapter, it was almost there was some type of relations to that, also to the mythology. He was able to defeat that 108-headed beast, but there was a part where he says, something stood up. Okay, and that's when the curveball just came through, and then Mutsu's like, "What stood up?" And he said, my genes were telling me that I need to create offspring because I am going to die if I continue living this lifestyle. So there was also where he was saying, like, because I need to create offspring, his left his righty. Here, I'm going to say exactly what he said. He said he told to his right ball, I said, quit rattling around, it's so noisy. And then he said to his lefty, you shut up and watch too. My seeds were spread long ago, and I lost it right there because it was such a curveball that it came out of nowhere. And I said, "Where you start?" He grabbed his crotch in the middle of the battle. He got hard in the middle of battle. That was the weirdest thing that I ever seen in any manga whatsoever. Who the heck gets hard in the middle of battle? And then he was able to take off Yutsuro's arm. And I have to add for a little fact that the hilt of Yutsuro's sword, it kind of reminds me of Ichigo's when he uses Bankai, and the hilt of it looks like that type of symbol. You know what I'm talking about? It kind of looks similar to Ichigo's, but that's for another day, for another story, for another day. But really, that part with him grabbing his crotch and then talking about all spreading seeds, and it was just a curveball that I could not take it seriously. And he was able to land a blow ripping off Yutsuro's arm, but of course Yutsuro is able to regenerate any part of his body that's damaged. Even if his head was chopped off, he can still come back to life. It's even been mentioned that he's almost likened to that of a phoenix that rises from the ashes. So of course the episode, I'm talking about, the chapter ends with him saying that he was only able to defeat the Orochi by the help of the woman he ended up marrying and having kids with. And I can say for a fact that it was Mammy. It was Mammy who he fell in love with, and I can say probably Mammy at some point in her life before she passed away, she was also a hunter as well. And you can say for a romance factor, he fell in love with her and her strength, and the fact they probably went on many adventures until they finally settled down to have a family of their own. So this chapter was kind of a curveball by some part of it, but it was a really good chapter with the fights and everything, and also backstory on how Yutaro met Mutsu and told of his story of how he came to be this great, the strongest fighter, the strongest hunter throughout the universe, and how he also, by the end of the chapter, end up meeting his wife, his future lover. So do tell me your thoughts on this week's chapter of Gintama. Tell me if you was as confused and as thrown off as I was in the middle of it, of what has happened, or you just expected something like that from Gintama. Do tell me that in the comment section below. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.